Hello, guys. Welcome back to Cozy Cast Podcast. Before the episode gets started, I like to say I know within my last video on this platform, I know I was mainly talking about my next episode being in the booking process, and now I'm doing it by myself. Things happen, people cancel. It's fine. I'm doing the episode by myself. Within this episode, I'll just be doing two topics, which are advice I'll give my younger self and things that I thought school would taught that I would have learned throughout school. So without further ado, let's get started. The advice I give my younger self is, one of the things is probably not to be so gullible, not believe everything I see or hear. Another thing is probably not to let people take advantage of me. Know when somebody is not good for me, and know somebody is good for me. That's far as relationship, friendship, anything. Because I definitely did let people take advantage of me, and I probably still have an issue of that. But it's something I'm still working on to this day, which is totally fine. My bad. Turn down the volume. Another thing is that I wish I would tell myself is really how to really want to tell myself to live life the fullest. Because when I was a kid, it was when I was really used to zone out, or not really zone out, just step away from everybody for no particular reason. Sometimes to do it just to get attention. Other times just being emotional for no exact reason. So that'll be another reason. And probably another thing is to actually care about my own feelings more than anybody else's, because at the end of the day, I am still my own person, and I need to put myself before anything else and before anybody else, because there's only one of me, there's only one of you. So yeah, leading more into what I thought school would taught me. I can only really compare that to or talk about high school and before, but I can really mostly talk about high school because I just graduated this following May, because 26, and with me talking about high school, that's the most recent time, and that's the only mainly thing I can remember. So let's get into it. So one of the things I thought school was going to teach me, specifically in high school, is how to manage money and build credit. Now, with this not being taught at my high school I specifically went to, I really learned this on my own, or specifically by my family, or specifically my parents. Another thing is probably how to find a work balance. What I mean by that, a work-life balance, what I mean by that is basically find a ways that you get a smooth life, like after high school, if that makes sense. I feel now, but depending on which teacher was there, or depending on which guests they had coming to the school, it will actually be times like that they would just tell us, you can do this to make money and get a certain lifestyle, But that wasn't an actual course within the school. I don't really know if they actually have the things on my list on this topic specifically within all high schools in the state of Georgia, but I'm just talking about from my high school specifically. Another thing is, well, I can say for this one, I actually didn't learn within school, not as an actual course though. It was specifically by a couple teachers, probably like 2 or 3 at most, when we had those deep talks. We're just really dealing with rejection and failure. Now, rejection and failure, I think they're really similar. As far as those two things, it is okay to get both of those things. With those things specifically, it does not mean it's the end of the world. Just means just do it again and just keep trying, basically. Now, as far as rejection can be within a relationship or with anything, a college offer. Failure can be either money wise. They're real similar. And probably another thing is probably understanding paychecks. With paychecks, I feel like Now, with me being in ninth grade or my sophomore year in high school when I first got my first job, I did not actually learn this within school, but I learned this by my parents that they actually take the money from the check. They actually take out some percentage of that because of taxes. With that alone, when I first got my first check, I'm not gonna lie, it was some money, but I thought I was gonna get that actual amount until I saw the amount after taxes were taken out. With that alone, I really feel like they should put that within the school system because that's very important, especially with incoming freshmen into these high schools. I feel like that would be something good to put in and something good that they can tell the students. Another thing I wish they taught students within specifically school is cursive writing. Now I know that specifically alone they did used to teach that curriculum, but now they don't. I really don't know why. I talked about that in one of my podcast episodes about a month ago with my 5th grade teacher. But I feel like that's something they should definitely put back in the school system. I think they're bringing it back, but I definitely do feel like that's something that I thought school would have taught me because it's something related to writing, especially in English class. I thought they would have put that in there, but they didn't. So yeah, that'll be my last thing. So yeah, I didn't really remember this episode long. It was kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of hard to put together. It's not gonna turn out the best, or I wouldn't say hard to put together. It was kind of last minute because the guests really didn't really end up canceling the day of the shoot, which would be tomorrow. So yeah. If I do get another guest, then yes, I'll be doing a double upload of a podcast episode. So tune into that. Thank you for watching and thank you for the support.